Hello everyone, welcome to i3 tutorials. I am making these videos during these quarantine days, so I am making with whatever I have right now. Anyway, concepts are concepts whether you learn through a digital pen or in the traditional way. One thing I can bet is that the concepts which I'll illustrate in these modules will be very crisp and clear and will enable you to crack GMAT, CAT or any other competitive examination which tests the quantitative aptitude. So let's learn the traditional way. So the first topic is percentage 1. Percentage 1 means I've divided the concept of percentage in 3 modules. We'll be discussing the concepts in few modules, and in the last module we'll be discussing previous year GMAT or CAT examination questions. So in this module we will learn the first thing is that concept of percentage, B multiplying factor, and C successive change in percentages. So to start with, concept of percentage means what do you mean by percentage, or what are the basics of percentage, what you calculate or not. So first topic is that percent means per cent. You all know the meaning of the word per cent means per 100, that is per 100. So you need to take everything in terms of 100. That means by that way you get in per cent. So suppose someone asks you what is this, means anyone that 7 by 25. 7 by 25 equal to how much percentage, this value. So what you do is that you just see that if in 25 the value is 7, so in 100 what will be the value? 25 into 4, so 7 into 4 multiplied by 4 is 28. So if in 25 the value is 7, in 100 the value will be 28. So you can directly write this value to be 28%. So that is means you have to find the value in terms of 100. Means what will be it in terms of 100. So if you see this, we can also write it like this: 7 by 25. You take the denominator to 100. Similarly, you take the numerator to 100. So 28 by 100. This is equal to 28%. So I hope this is clear. Means what do you mean by percentage? Now to how to calculate the value of percentage in case of estimations. Means like suppose anyone gives you a figure like 7 by 33. How much will be the percentage? So in this also you need to take it the base to 100. So what you do, you take the base 2 means near to 100, you multiply by 3. If you multiply by 3, it will be 33 into 3. Similarly in numerator also you multiply by 3. So this will be 7,321 by 99. Now what will be your answer? It should have been, you know that, what you know that 21 by 100. You know this 21 by 100 equal to 21%. But you have got for 21 by 99. Now you need to make this 99 to 100, means you need to increase the denominator a bit. Similarly, you need to increase the numerator a bit, because if you increase the denominator, you should also increase the numerator. Then only the equal will be maintained. So your answer will be slightly greater than 21%. So if someone asks you what is the value of 7 by 33, you can easily do an estimation and see that it is slightly greater than 21%. Slightly greater than 21% means 21.1 or 21.21. The value will be something like this. So you can similarly choose those options which are near to this slightly greater than 21%. You can also be asked various other type of values. Okay. For that, let me tell one thing to you. Suppose you have A and you add 10% of A, means you add 10% of A to A. Now you know you can take A to be common, 1 plus 10%. Okay, So if you take a common, you can 1 plus 10%. 10% is simply 10 by 100 means 0.1. So next which you can be asked is that what type of estimations you need to do. Suppose you get a figure like this, 9 by 13. What is the value, means how much percentage is 9 by 13? So you take 13 close to 100 is 13 into 7. 13 7 your 91. Similarly 9 into 7 is 63. Now see, here it was 99 but here it is 91. So to take 91 close to 100 you need to add around 9. You see 9 is around 10% of 91. So in this case what we do, we increase the denominator by 10%, and if we increase the denominator by 10%, we will also increase the numerator by 10%. We need to increase, then only equal sign will be maintained. So 63 into 1 plus 10% by 91 into 1 plus 10%. So 10% of 63 is 6.3. You add 6.3 to 63, it will be 69.3, and denominator will be 91 plus 9.1, that is 100.1. Now you need the denominator to be 100 in terms of 100. So what you do is you need to reduce this a bit. If you need to reduce this a bit, you also need to reduce this a bit. So your answer will be slightly less than 69.3%. So your answer will be slightly less than 69.3%. So I hope this type of estimation is also clear. This will help you to narrow down your calculations. So you can choose among those options which are slightly less than 69.3%. You can other vague options you can eliminate easily. So just understand how to estimate the values. First understand the concept of percentage, and then how do you estimate these values. We can let me take one more example to be clear to within this thing. Let's understand 7 by 22. How do you proceed? To take 22 near to 100, you multiply by 5. So denominator will be 110, numerator will be 35. Now you need to see subtract 10 from 110 to get 100. So you subtract 10% from it. 10% of 110 is 99. So 10% if you subtract in this, you also need to subtract 10% from upwards. What is 10% of 35? It's 3.5. Let me write it down. 1 minus 10% by 110, 1 minus 10%. So what is 10% of 35? It's 3.5. So you get 35 minus 3.5 is 31.5 by, you get it 99. Now you have got the denominator to be 99. So you need to make it to 100. Similarly, you need to increase the numerator also a bit. So your answer will be slightly greater than 31.5%. So I hope by this time you at least can estimate the various percentages by either you take close to 100, either you take this add 10% or subtract 10%. Similarly, like this you can estimate the values near to 100 and the denominator, and then you can calculate what is the percentage. So what is the concept of percent? So now we will see some percentage values. Like suppose if someone tells you 100%, you know 100% means 100 by 100, 1. 50%, you know 50% means 50 by 100, half. Similarly 25%, 25 by 100, 1 by 4. So I am reducing by half, so you try to understand. 12.5%, 12.5% is 1 by 8. You reduce by half. 6.25%, this will be 1 by 16. So you should know these values. These values are very important to estimate the percentages. So you should always try to know these values. So like sometimes anybody can ask you what is 3 by 8. 3 by 8, you simply multiply 3 to 1 by 8. So 3 into 12.5% will give you 37.5%. Okay. Similarly, you get 3 by 16 or you get 75%. 75% is means you get 75% means what? Simply 3 by 4. You multiply 3 to 25%. 75% is 3 by 4. So these are very, very basic things, but it will help you to improve your calculations to be very fast. Okay, now let me explain you one very common concept which is told as that if means x percentage of y is equal to y percentage of x. Okay, x percentage of y is equal to y percentage of x. So what do you mean by x percentage of y? X percentage of y means x by 100 into y. Y percentage of x means y by 100 into x. So both are giving ultimately you see x into y by 100. So x percentage of y is equal to y percentage of x. Now where will it help you? Where will it help you? It will help you, suppose somebody asks you what is 28% of 50. If somebody asks you what is 28% of 50, see, you can within a second you can think that this is also equal to 50% of 28. 50% of 28 means 28, half of 28. This will be 40. Okay, so these are basic things you should know, and you should means in an instant you should be able to convert this to 28% of 50 is 50% of 28. So simply the answer will be 14. X percent of y is equal to y percent of x. You should remember these values. 1 by 8 is this, so 3 by 8 is 37.5%. 3 by 4 means 75%, like this. And this will help you to make your calculations faster. Next we will see the concept of multiplying factor. So next we will be seeing what? The concept of multiplying factor. Multiplying factor. So what is multiplying factor? You see, if a value, suppose A is increased, if A is increased by 20%, A is increased by 20%. So what you do? You add 20% of A to A, means you take A common, 1 plus 20%. 20% means 20 into 1 by 100 means 20 by 100 is 0.2. So A into 1 plus 0.2, this will give you 1.2 A. So this 1.2 which you are multiplying to A, this is known as the multiplying factor. And this is very important for you. For this point of time it might look very easy, 20% means 1.2, but using this in day-to-day calculations is very, very important. And one thing I like to tell you, that percentage is the ABCD of quantitative aptitude. So you should be very, very thorough and clear in percentage, and this will help you to be thorough in entire quantitative aptitude. So similarly, see, if we in place of increasing, we can also reduce. If A is reduced by 20%, in this what we will do? A minus 20% of A, that means A into 1 minus 20%, that means A into 1 minus 0.2, this will be 0.8 A. So if you reduce it by 20%, this will be 1 minus 0.2, this will be the multiplying factor. Okay. So now few things you should instantly come into your mind. If A, suppose A is any value, anything, you increase it by 30%. That means what will be the final value? 1.3A. Remember, this we are calculating the final value. That means we are adding, we are reducing, and we are calculating the final value. So if you increase A by 30%, and add to it, what will be the final value? 1.38. Okay. If you increase A by 27%, what will be the final value? 1.27A. Similarly, if you increase A by 8%, 8% means 1 plus 8 by 100 means 1 plus 0.08, so it will be 1.08. Similarly, reduction can be there. You reduce A by 8%, 1 minus 0.08 means 0.92A. Similarly, you can reduce A by 30%, so A into 1 minus 0.3 means 0.7A. So I hope you are getting these things. Means this is known as the multiplying factor. So with this, as soon as someone says the population increased by 40%, you should instantly think the final population is 1.4 times of the earlier population. The population reduced by 60%. You should instantly think the final is 0.4 into initial population. You reducing 60% means 1 minus 0.6, so final value will be 0.48. Next, with this learning, with this as the base, I'll teach you one more concept which is known as, same, it's nothing new, consecutive multiplying factor. Consecutive multiplying factor. Consecutive multiplying factor means you change the value 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, anything like that. So suppose you have a value A. It increase 20% to it once. Again you increase by 20%, 30%. Let's take to 30%. So what will be the final value? So you see one thing. For this one time increase, you will multiply by 1.2 because 20% increase means 1.2. Again from this one time increase will multiply by 1.3. So what will be the final value? 1.2 into 1.3a. This will give me 1.2 into 1.3 is 1.56. Okay, so you increased it 2 times, so this is now my consecutive multiplying factor. This is now my consecutive multiplying factor. You increase it 2 times. Similarly, you can increase this 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You just have to keep on multiplying the multiplying factors and get the final multiplying factor. Similarly, the questions can be there like this. Suppose there is a price of an article is A. Okay, you increase it by 20% once. Again you decrease it by 10%. You reduce it by 10%. So what will be the final change in price? Final percentage change. So for this, you will increase in 20%. You will multiply 1.2. Reduction in 10%. You will multiply 0.9. So what will be your final value? 1.2 into 0.9 into A. 12 into 9 is 108. So it will be 1.08. So in this case, you can say that the final price increased by 8%, consecutive multiplying factor. So in this, you can say the final value increased by 56%. In this, the final value increased by 8%. You once increase by 20%, then reduce by 10%, your final increase will be 8% with this consecutive multiplying factor. Similar was this consecutive multiplying factor concept. So I hope the concept of multiplying factor and consecutive multiplying factor is very clear. With this as the base, we will try to solve few questions. So these are the questions. I hope the questions are visible to you. So first question is your first question is, if the side of a square is increased by 20%, what will be the percentage change in its area? So it's a very simple and basic question. Area is what? Side into side. If this is a square, this is A, this is A. Area will be side into side, A square. This is the area. So you increase the side of a square by 20% means 1.2A into 1.2A, because A becomes my 1.2A. So this will be 12 into 12 is 144. 144 A square. Okay. So how much percentage did the area change? You can say area increased by 44%. So this is also type of consecutive multiplying factor, means you increase one time this area, once this side you increase by 20%, area increases by 20%. Again you increase this side by 20%, area increases by 20%. So you can see this thing 1.2 into 1.2, this is 1.44, means the area increased by 44%. The next question, I hope it is visible to you. The price of a ticket. So these type of questions come in CAT actually. Means this type of questions actually come in CAT or GMAT. It has came in the previous years. So you see this question, the price of a ticket is increased by 20%. As a result, the number of audiences decreased by 10%. Obviously, you increase the price, audience will decrease. Nobody is ready to pay higher price. So what is the percentage change in net revenue? So we increase the price, audience decreased, but percentage change in net revenue. So you just need to understand one thing is that what is revenue? In this, revenue means what is the amount you are getting. So revenue can take it to be what is the price of ticket into the number of tickets. Suppose the price of a ticket is 10 rupees and 100 tickets have been sold. So what will be the revenue? Revenue will be simply 1000 rupees. So here you see revenue is price into number of tickets. So what you have done to price, the price of a ticket is increased by 20%. So this will become 1.2p. What you have done to number of audience, as a result the number of audience decreased by 10%. Decreased by 10% means it will be 0.9n. So 12 into 9 you already know 108. So it will be 1.08 into n. So your answer will be, though the audience decreases by 10%, revenue increases by 8%. You can see here in the question, revenue increases by 8%. So these are very basic questions. If your concept is clear, you can solve them very easily. Okay. So with this as the base, we have learnt our both concepts of our module. Now let's move to the final concept of our module, that is successive change in percentages. Successive change in percentages is nothing we are learning new. We have already seen in this concept, consecutive multiplying factor. Means you change the percentage 2 or 3 times. So once we have seen by this, now we will see using a formula. So let's, by the formula, if something changes by a% first and then by b% subsequently, means you change the value of something by a% and then again you change it by b%, then final change in percentage, what will be the final change in percentage? And remember very much, this is the final change in percentage. Final change in percentage is given by a plus b plus a into b by 100. A or b will be positive or negative dependent whether you increase or decrease the percentage. If you increase, a will be positive. If you decrease, a will be negative. So similarly here, plus a into b means positive into positive will be positive, positive into negative will be something, positive will be negative. Okay. So for example, suppose the price of a ticket, you once increase it by 10%, again then you reduce it by 10%. So what will be the final change in percentage? So if you increase it by 10%, your a equal to plus 10, again you reduce by 10%, subsequently means b equal to minus 10. So you increase by a% and then b%, so you are increasing plus 10, you are reducing minus 10. So what will be the final change? Final change will be 10 minus 10 plus 10 into minus 10 is minus 100 by 100 equal to 10. 10 gets cancelled, 100 by 100 is 1, minus 1%. So once you increase the price by 10% then reduce by 10%, your final change in price will be minus 1%. Minus 1% means it will reduce by 1%. So you also see that this is nothing you have already learned by the concept of consecutive multiplying factor. Once the price increases by 10%, what happens? You multiply by 1.1. Then the price again reduces by 10%, you multiply by 0.9. So what happens to it? 1.1 and 0.9 is 0.99 is a multiplying factor. 0.99a means the value has reduced by 1%. So it is nothing new, but we are learning this so that we can apply this concept in some type of problems. We can in some type of problems this concept will be, this formula will be handy. In some type of problems this will be handy. So we should know both these concepts. Okay. So we will try to see what the questions which is solved using this consecutive multiplying factor. You see this. You have increased the area by 20%. So what happens means, once you increase the side by 20%, that means once you increase the area by 20%, again you increase the side of another by 20%. That means again you increase the area by 20%. So both time you increase the area by 20%. So final change was 44%. Let's see if it comes through this formula. So you increase by 20% and then again you increase by 20%. So your A is 20, similarly B is 20. So what will, as per formula, A plus B plus A into B by 100. So this will be 40 plus 400 by 100. So you see this is 44%. As it is plus, this is increase. The same thing which we saw here. Next question is, the price is increased by 20%, means A is plus 20. As a result, audience decreases by 10%. So once you increase the price, means you increase the revenue. Next you reduce the audience, means you reduce the revenue. So one time you increase by 20%, next time you decrease by 10%. So what will be the value? You see here, once you increase by 20%, next you reduce by 10%. So your value should come out to be here 20A. As you are reducing, so it will be minus 10, plus 20 into minus 10 is minus 200 by 100. So you see 20 minus 10 is 10, minus 200 by 100 is 2. This is 8%. As it is plus, so it is 8% increase. So revenue increases by 8%. The same thing which we saw here, revenue increases by 8%. Same thing is coming by this formula also. So in what type of questions will this formula be handy? Let's solve one question. So I hope it is visible to you. So length of a rectangle is increased by 20%. By how much percent should breadth be reduced to maintain the same area? Means, see, we have a rectangle. This is the length, this is the breadth. You increase the length by 20%. So by how much percentage should breadth be reduced? By how much percentage you need to reduce the breadth so that it maintains the same area? So here one thing you know means, if you have to maintain the same area, then what will be the final change in area? Final percentage change in area, how much? Final change in area should be 0, because area is not changing. So if area is not changing, the final change is 0. Final change, let us assume that B reduces by X%. Let us assume that B reduces by X%. So in our formula, final change is 0. This equal to A is 20 plus 20. Because B is reducing, we'll take it as minus. Even if you don't take it as minus, if you take it as plus X, the value of X will come out to be negative. So to be convenient, let's take it to be minus, because we know it is reducing. 20 minus X. Then plus a into b means plus 20 into minus x means minus 20x by 100, or so 20 this by 5 means x minus x by 5, it comes to this side, x plus x by 5, this becomes 6x by 5 is equal to 20, and your x comes out to be 20 into 5 is 100 by 6, this equal to 16.67%. This is very easy. I think you get this by this formula. Means if you increase the length by 20%, you reduce the breadth by 16.67%, your area remains the same. Area of the rectangle remains same. So this is our conclusion. And one thing, see, when you practice, you will find that in this question you saw that final change in area was given. So length, and one change is given length, but the second change is not given. So if one change is given, final change is given, and second change is not given, it is handy to use this formula. You can also solve by using consecutive multiplying factor. But in consecutive multiplying factor, it is easy when both the changes are given, like this 20%, this is 30%. So you multiply 1.2 into 1.3 and you get 1.56. So with practice, you will understand that in where to use this formula or consecutive multiplying factor. So we have learned this concept of percentage, multiplying factor, successive change in percentages in this module. I hope your concepts are now clear in these topics, and we will learn the concept of change of base in the next module, and in subsequent modules we will solve previous year GMAT or CAT questions. Till then, goodbye and take care.